What makes you keep exercising now?
I have two main fears driving why I continue to work out so frequently and relatively intensely depending on the day. Number one is for my family. The fear of not being here for them. That's actually the whole reason why I started to track my blood pressure 5 years ago and made a goal of improving it. And
Which I love, by the way.
Dude,
Like, out of all the things to track, if you list it on how important it is and then how many people do it, like,
Yeah.
there aren't that many things with such a vast chasm between the two.
yeah, I mean, arguably the most important and relatively easy to measure at home. But so the fear of not being here for my wife and daughters, and then a huge reason why I train is for my business. And for example, I generally lately, especially since my second daughter was born, and even when my first was born, I work out at night because the days are crazy. And the options are either wake up at like 4 or work out at like 10 or 11. And I'm not a wake up at 4 guy, so I work out at 10 or 11. People will often say, gosh, you're just so motivated to be able to work out at 10 or 11 at night. There is some of that there, but it's also, if I don't and I stop training altogether, and I'm not jacked by any means, but my physical ability is really one of the major things that I use as an opportunity to show people, what are you capable of? Like, I've never been physically imposing. I'm a short dude. I've never been jacked or any of that, but I have been able to show people, like, you can get very strong. You can get very mobile. You can become very athletic. You can hopefully get out of pain, or at the very least reduce your pain. And so that's why so much of what I do is based around showing what your body can do, not necessarily like how you look. But I know for a fact that if I don't train and I'm not able to essentially not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, my business will likely suffer as a result of that, which is another fear of losing that. So there is an added layer of not just me, but all coaches appearing as though they're more motivated than others, when in reality, it's the situation that they're in.
This is their actual job.
It's sort of like the Biggest Loser, right? Where you put people in a situation which they're on on television, in a controlled situation, eyes of the world are on them, and they're in this competition to lose as much weight as possible. Of course, they're going to be outrageously strict, working out for 6 hours a day, starving themselves. But unfortunately, you see what happens when they go back home. Eyes aren't on them anymore. They have access to food as much as they like. And unfortunately, most of them gain all the weight back and more. It's if you have eyes on you, and this is your job, and your income is largely dependent on it, the fear and motivation, and we could potentially use those interchangeably. At the very least, there's a Venn diagram where they both intersect, makes a huge difference in regard to how consistent you're likely to be.